Ladies
Lady
and gentlemen,
Yeah.
lady, the first lady, and gentlemen, welcome to a special episode of Chat It Up. To my left is Chase Green, my brother.
What's happening, Captain?
And the men of the hour, the men in the arena.
I like it.
Hey.
We have my good friend, Mr. Hudson Brock. What's up, brother?
Malcolm?
And the legendary man, my guy, Krue Brock. What's up, baby?
Glad to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
It's a gift.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks for having us.
We thought we were going to get Builder.
Well,
then we got that. Hudson did us a little curveball.
Yeah. A treat.
It's a very big treat.
In the foundation.
In
pretty cool.
the foundation.
Can I say that?
You can.
No,
All
you
right.
sure can. It's going to get hot, like we said. It gets a little sauna-y.
Yeah.
it's good for us.
Yeah, it is. We're
After the
sweating
expedition, we're ready for a little sauna action, I think. So
Yeah.
this is good.
This is your recovery station.
Yeah.
That's great. Anything that's dry. I'll just take anything that's dry at this point.
Yeah. How did you guys feel about all that? Like that can kind of kick us off there, because I was
For sure.
wondering, with all that, you were texting us tonight before, like, we may cancel this bad boy.
Did I say
And-
that, man?
Yeah,
it's all
well, no,
blur at this point.
Like
Yeah.
legit, you're like, yo, like be on standby.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys were like the only event that went on that day. Barbecue competitions were canceled, but this race full of mad men and women was
That's
not.
That's right. I don't know if y'all saw the post, but the first line on Instagram was "The storm came, and so did we."
Yes, sir.
And that was the shift. It was like that night at about 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
We did an emergency conference call. We were like, what do we do? Like, I had water in my downstairs. We're getting a picture from the gym, CrossFit Brigade,
looks so bad.
and they had like
3 inches.
at least 3 inches of water
All right.
in their gym where we're supposed to work out. And I was just like, all right, at what moment is this like an act of God? And then it was like, you know what? We've come this far. My mom, who's off screen, was like, we got to power through. And that was kind of the shift. I think at like 11, we were like, we got to do it. So
Low
What was
sleep
really-
on that.
What was interesting is the registration we had set up was, I mean, I can't tell you how hard the rain was coming down, and everyone kept showing up, even in the rain, to register. Like they could have also thought, well, I'll just wait till the morning. They kept showing up, and the spirit was like, we are in. Like this is, and you just realize, I think this is going to be the way it is.
Yeah.
This is just going to be an expedition it's going to be nature challenged in addition to everything else, and you got to just press into it.
and then it started hailing.
And then it hailed twice.
It's literally hailing.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
chunks of ice.
We're
coming
at
down.
fast break, kind of like out there making like at a good time. Lightning's coming down, and then Alan, who runs fast break, is like, "Get inside!"
And I'm running around acting funny. He's like, I'm not kidding. Get inside.
Get inside right now. Right now. Yeah, because that was that level of people. There's something a little off in you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go ahead and
You're
say
not
that.
wrong.
So
A few
You're
screws
not wrong.
loose. For
there's
sure.
a few screws loose, especially people are like, I'm gonna run
Yeah.
up stringers
Yes.
with how much weight were those men and women?
30.
Oh
35.
yeah, there's.
Well, you know
little-
what's interesting is we had a delineation above 20 and 35 for the men. In the episode that happened in Brigade with the flooding,
yeah.
Yeah.
they used all of the women's sandbags for flooding reasons, and so all the women did 35. So there's no. It was like they really did an impressive.
Holy
yeah.
cow.
we
Big
had
shout
these
out.
old school, the ROTC rucksacks
From
They're like
UTC, yes.
camo. Who knows how old? I mean, these things
Legit.
have seen some.
Yeah, if
some
you had a
stuff.
fancy ruck and you saw that, and you're like, I got to do that. I mean, that looks really.
But they
legit.
were not water resistant.
No.
So they got soaked the night before. It was supposed to be 20 pounds, 30 pounds. It definitely had at least 5
probably
plus.
40. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
I would have died, bro.
The first round of burpees we were talking about
Oh no.
down in the water.
So I really
Yeah.
believe those are the most beautiful setting for burpees anyone will ever do. So there's 18 steps, and the yellow flowers. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're in full
Yeah.
bloom, and it just was spectacular to watch people climb that ladder and all the way up. And the more burpees you do, you have to go a little slower.
Yeah.
And so you begin to appreciate the flowers a little more
Mhm.
and stop and smell the flowers, I guess. Yeah, stop it. People were coming up with petals on their faces and on their chest, and it was really beautiful though.
Wait, when did y'all get there? What time did you show up? Were like the first
Eight.
finishers coming in?
Like right when the
We
first
had 20
finishers-
minutes
Okay.
because we were
Nice.
we were running
Nice.
on the fly.
So we set up, and then from there, like we saw, it was like the situation, and it was go time.
Okay.
I mean, we kind of talked about like a system, but we had like a little whiteboard.
Dude, shout out to Melissa.
Yes.
What a name.
Melissa is a godsend, by the way. Like she's
She's amazing.
truly
Yeah.
amazing. She's like, this is the name, go.
Mhm.
And then she would relay information to Chase and be like, all right, these are sponsors. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to say. And I'd be like, all right, got it.
Y'all did amazing. It was like, it's one of those things where there was so much we had to figure out right then because of all the weather changes.
Yeah.
And I was just so impressed with everybody's just intuitive sense of this is what needs to happen right now. And
Yeah.
y'all did such a good job.
We appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
buddy.
Thank you.
I was thinking about all these little details on the run. Like, all right, they're showing up. I think, I didn't
You
know.
don't
I
know.
didn't confirm everything super well. And then, getting the like mic and the speaker to y'all, the list. And I had an intuition that Melissa would just dominate that like she did. But it was so fun coming down the last stretch and then hearing your voice and being like, yes,
There he is. There he is.
It's working.
Now, it was funny because Miggy rolled in probably like 10 minutes
Yep.
before the first
Yep.
person came
Nice.
in. And so at that point, like we're talking like this guy's coming in and Miggy jogged down that lane like he was about to be the one to be the first finisher.
Yeah.
People actually started cheering real quick. They're like, oh, no. No offense. This definitely got Stephen not winning.
Had a little chicken wings last night,
Yeah,
man. I
dude.
don't know if that was,
That shirt was way too clean to go up stringers.
it's all white chatted up.
Let's talk about those shoes too. That stressed me out so bad. He showed up in the whitest sneakers.
Dude, you look
This
good.
is,
Feel good.
you looked so good in the car. I don't know if you look good getting back. They had to have gotten muddy.
They did, but I was telling them they're burners, man. I
Okay.
just some
Okay.
Air Maxes. I was like, you know what? I want some good support.
Yeah.
We had to watch some Chihuahuas after this
I heard
event
about that.
Yeah.
that we had with you all, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna be on the move. I need to have some support.
That's good.
So
That's
So is
good.
the energy similar? Expedition, Chihuahuas.
the intensity
About the
level
same.
was at an all-time high at both.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. I
But
love
I'm not
that.
gonna lie to you guys. There were some different animals
Yeah.
at the Chihuahuas. Special creatures. I'm sure we can talk about it.
Yeah, go
Okay,
please.
we got to tell y'all a story about this.
All right,
one.
let's
This
hear
was-
it.
This was our favorite part of the day. I loved y'all's event, but you guys did not have El Chapo.
No.
Mm.
Okay, so we are just judging the races, so we get some time to kind of hang out before the races of the Chihuahuas and the bracket challenge goes down. They do best dressed. There's what
Best dressed Chihuahuas or best,
Best dressed
people?
Chihuahua.
Okay.
Chihuahuas, yep.
Chihuahuas. But this guy came up to us prior to this competition wearing, what is that? Like a
Goya Vera?
the Mexican poncho.
Oh,
Like-
okay.
like
okay.
a-
Yes, yes.
Like a rainbow Mexican poncho.
Yep.
Guy's a little off. You're like,
Yeah.
he's been to a Grateful Dead concert. You know,
Or
you know
three
the
or
type.
four. Yeah.
Yeah. You know the type. And so he comes up to us and he's like talking about like, this is going to be off the chain. You guys got to talk about creativity if you're going to judge these. We're not the judges, but I think he thought we were. So we kind of go through this whole process of like, man, what the heck was up with that guy? He's a little screws loose. And he comes rolling out and he's one of the later little Chihuahuas in this competition. And you see him in the back. I'm like, man, they've got a cart. His wife is dressed up as a DEA agent. The dog is sitting on a whole cart full of fake cocaine.
Oh my.
And he is chained up to the back of the cart
Oh my.
with El Chapo written on his thing
No
with a fake
way.
mustache. And the best part to top it all off, a fake cocaine on his nose
Powder.
No,
just powder.
way.
Everywhere.
everywhere. This guy. And so
He
you're
wanted
like,
to win.
yeah, he
really
sure
wanted
did.
to win.
He sure did not. It
Please
was,
tell me he won.
no, he did not. No. No, they were like, this is really bad. I think he tried to entice the judges.
Yeah, with like he wrote their names because he knew the judges' names.
Okay.
So he wrote them on individual bags of fake cocaine
And handed it to
and was like, "Look, guys," and they were like, "Oh, thanks."
This is actually going backwards. This is not,
This
this is not
is
good.
not it. And yeah, the rest basically like he was like, "Well, if this isn't it, I always have something for you guys," and like opened up his thing and. It's like a real thing. And they're like, "Sir, you're gonna have to leave the premises."
Whoa.
So that was a 180 from such a wholesome expedition race
Yeah.
that we had
Yeah.
4
Wow.
hours prior.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
It's really funny. In November of last year, when we were thinking about all this National Park City stuff and,
Yeah.
this past 2 weeks, there's a lot of energy around it. If you have an idea, do it around the 20th of April to the 4th of May. And so, what happened was everybody decided to do something.
Everybody.
Like we did committed.
For sure.
And then you realize, man, there was so much going on
Mhm.
all these past 3 weekends,
yeah.
which is really fun for Chattanooga.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's really dynamic. Everybody that came in from out of town was like, good grief, there's so much going on here. It's really fun. It felt like you could show the city off.
For sure.
It was all baked into that, enjoy the city, be outside, be a part of things.
Especially like if that day would have been
Pretty.
relatively nice. Could you guys imagine what y'all's race? I mean, I think everybody would have just piled in. I mean,
It's so fun.
people would have been mad at you guys for taking away Cardboard Hill, but
Yeah.
worth it.
Nobody,
to see.
at least nobody got mad about that.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's one thing you guys got to add. GT, actually the star of the show, GT crushed on the mic throughout. He was awesome. But he was like, you guys need to add a slide.
We thought about it.
We
did
had
think
one
about it.
athlete go for it. Did y'all see that?
I saw the
About
cut.
took about took a
shout out
shot.
to
Yeah.
shout out to Roy Anderson.
Roy.
Roy.
Roy
He got
Anderson.
he got his X and then just took a dive and then came up and I was like, ooh, that was a tough
Yeah, the
decision.
backside of that hill's not easy.
Decision. No,
Not easy.
he needed the cardboard. He didn't have it.
Oh, yeah. Makes me hurt a little.
Somebody had to do it. Though.
So did y'all see the paddle boards? That was a fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Instagram. I guess that's what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it on
Well, that's one of those
Instagram
crazy
as well.
things where we really were trying to make an event where people didn't have it wasn't equipment heavy as far as if you don't have it, we'll provide it.
Yeah.
We had no idea how hard it is to find that many paddle boards, and so we scrambled. So many people were helpful in giving them to us, but then you realized, okay, well, some people brought theirs. These are theirs. These are rentals. These are ones that people don't. And so you had to organize all of that, and it was a crazy moment when everybody got in the water, and then you realize some of these people have really nice paddle boards.
Oh yeah.
And some of the ones that we were given are really not as fast. Like Hudson, I think you got a pretty nice slow one, right?
I thought mine was decent.
Okay.
Is it
I would say
inflatable or is it?
mid? Mine was inflatable. Yeah.
Okay.
But there were some that are like the fiberglass,
Yeah,
like
I
racing boards.
oh,
Then you
Well,
have the, like,
just shoot.
hard plastic kayak that's flattened. That's probably been around for like 20 years. It was a good. There's a
Sturdy.
lot of adversity within the equipment too
Yeah.
between athletes.
Because you realize, oh yeah, if I didn't bring mine, I get what they give me. And
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. So
Was
there you
John the first one off in the water?
go. No,
No, he was not.
Okay.
he's a
Hayden
runner. He's a runner.
Croxall was flying on the paddleboard. Probably finished 10 minutes ahead of everyone.
Yeah, because I saw the first paddler and I didn't see anybody else in the camera view.
One of the
Yeah.
funny things where Holly had kind of laid out, this is when we think the first person will come up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she's like, oh, buddy, he's here. And all of a sudden I looked around and he was already doing burpees and no one was even ready for him. He was like probably 15 minutes ahead of the fastest person we thought would come out of the water. He really, really went fast.
There were some animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some dogs.
Oh,
Yeah. What did you guys think was the hardest part?
There's a hill up to CrossFit Brigade. And it's that moment where you're like, I'm probably 2/3 to 3/5 through the race. And you just have that moment of like, man, I still got a hard workout ahead of me. And then you just have the question mark about the trails, like putting on that pack, getting out into the, kind of muddy trails out there, just kind of questioning what am I going to feel like?
Yeah.
I think that's when you start to feel like the depletion. I'm not fueled up like I was at the beginning. You're kind of getting away from the energy of everyone and it's kind of broken up. I only saw 2 people during the ruck. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
spread out enough to where it's you and nature. And so that was it was probably my favorite part, but felt the grittiest when you're putting that pack on.
It's just you guys out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw the intent. We're trying to make up something that hadn't really existed before. And so we're kind of inserting these functional fitness moments. So if you're a runner, you want to just run, find that Zen state. And then we'd say, well, no, run 3 miles. And then I want you to stop and do, 100 air squats, 150 lunges, 50 dips, and then go run again.
Yeah.
And so runners are like, dadgummit. And so if you're a paddleboarder, that's awesome. But now stop. Let's want you to do 72 burpees, And so that was kind of an intention of a little bit of creativity, a little bit of kind of making everybody have to figure it out on the fly. I'd say to me, the most sullen looks was after that burpee ladder where people you just get so spun up and they're looking like, that was not easy.
That was not a joke.
Get going.
Yeah.
Start
And
running.
like now bear crawl up the hill.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I guess you don't realize until you look at it, there are 18 steps.
Yes,
If you're
yes.
like, keep going up.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
it's a cumulative. Yeah.
Kalen was telling me, he was like, man, I got done. And he's like, man, that bear crawl was nothing, but then he was like, how far is this fucking hill?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, I can't believe. He's like, my legs were just gas. And he was he was telling me, he said triathlete, and he was like, man, it really was catered to a lot of different people, because it was like a lot of the big boys did well too. And he was like, that's one thing I thought, it's be tough for bigger guys.
Yeah.
No,
Crushed,
it was a lot of good big guys were rolling through this thing
Yeah.
because of the lunges, because of the air squats, and
Diversity.
Yeah.
Of things. I don't know if the last functional fitness thing is you had to accumulate 5 minutes of hang time on a bar.
I was going to ask how long it was.
And so every time you dropped, there's a consequence of, I think it's 15, 20 sit-ups or something like that. So, you start thinking, okay, I don't want to do that many sit-ups. And so you hold on as long as you can. And there's a great video of this guy is just holding on, and he just drops because he did not want to do another set of sit-ups. And we thought that would take probably 10, 12 minutes. And that's about what it did.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Which is fun. But that's one of those where, you just leave there and your arms are blown up.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
You're trying to rock
Yes.
the
You don't need them anymore, but they're still kind of feeling funny. I wanted everybody to just go to bed that night or the next morning and feel like I used my entire body, heart, mind, and soul. It's my complete self had to do that. And I felt like we got as close to that as we could.
Sure did.
It was really fun.
Sure did.
Some of the women out there too were elite. April, incredible. Shout out to April as
Christy.
an athlete and an organizer.
Yeah.
There was a lot of side bets about April or Melissa winning.
Yeah.
It would have been so good. Melissa got hurt running a 50K in California the weekend
It
before.
was her foot, right?
Casual.
Mom told me that.
Casual.
She was like, casual.
And she was going to try to do it still, probably a broken bone in her foot, and she wisely decided not to. But I want to see that. That race will be awesome when it happens.
What was really fun is we've gotten a lot of feedback of I'll definitely be there next year. And then a lot of people who I think the swim concerned a lot of people, and they're like, well, regardless, I'm in next year. I'm super excited about it. So I think the energy was such that people were really kind of felt like, okay, I could do that. And I'm going to do that. So
there was so much buy-in and like that energy y'all just talked about as organizers. How specifically you ran, like you did all this.
Yes.
But you're also like, yo, this could fail. Like I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about logistically everything, but I'm also trying to enjoy Chattanooga. Like I'm trying to enjoy and be a participant. How did you balance it too?
Yeah, it was a totally different experience than anything I've done, because I've done plenty of events. We've done events together.
For
So it's
sure.
one thing if you're like, all right, I got to get the people there and make it a good experience. And then I've been an athlete a bunch of times. And it's just, how do I make sure I have all my equipment? Everything's kind of dialed in. And this all of a sudden was a crazy storm of both. Like you're thinking about all these people a lot who and then, my mom and dad are helping kind of with everything behind the scenes. And so as a son, I'm like thinking about that, like, man, this is amazing that they're willing to do all this. And also like, they're not pros at this. They've done a lot of events, but we're all figuring it out together. And so it was really challenging. Like there were some very stressful moments where I think Builder and I would both say we were humbled in some ways about what it takes. So shout out to any race organizers, especially like the Ironman, some of these big ones, makes you realize how much goes into it logistically, volunteer wise. I think that was huge, just to know that we had a bunch of people that were willing to show up and help. And I think the overall spirit of these athletes, kind of like he was talking about, was very much like we embrace the adversity and the grassroots kind of aspect of it. Like we want to be a part of the first, even if it's not like perfectly put together. There's something about that has more character that we're excited about. So that was like amazing. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, please don't be Fire Festival 2.0. You know, like,
we got Ja Rule.
Like, all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, so like, the private villas that were just like those like broken tents. I was like, oh my
cheese and bread. Like, there you go.
I was just like, oh no, this could be, all that stuff is kind of flashing through your brain as you're doing it. So I was so grateful. No real injuries. Everyone finished. Like that alone, seeing the looks and kind of the finish to me was really special, because you guys saw it. You run up this hill.
Oh yeah.
You've been out in the woods, and all of a sudden you like hear the electricity of people cheering for you. You come up this hill, you got the flags, and then he's standing right there with a photographer. For a while, there's a drone. So you just kind of feel like, I'm important.
Yeah.
And then you cross through, and then you get the steam gong,
There's
steam
nothing like
logistics
it.
gong,
There's-
legendary.
I can say there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like
And
it.
you can
I had
tag
never
it as
done
hard
it.
as you want. I
I
had
had
no
never
idea. I never
done
done it. Yeah.
First gong's a big deal.
Yes.
It was as good as advertised.
It's
Yeah,
the
dude.
best.
And you do that, and then you get a hug. I don't know if everyone got a hug. I got a hug at the top.
I hugged
That was
everybody,
fun. And then you get this epic metal X. So that to me was just really special how it all came together right there. Yeah.
My favorite, Jason, was on our team, and he was. I think he figured he might be the last guy to finish, and he was in that last group of guys to finish. But I think it wasn't last necessarily for any other reason. He just really wanted to enjoy it. Like, he had designed the whole course with Holly and a couple other people, and I think he just got in. He was just so full. You could tell he's like, that was awesome. And a friend had come in from Baltimore, 2 guys, one from Baltimore. So they came across together. Their son was running with them. Their parents were cheering in the back. It was just such a great moment. So,
I think that was probably my favorite thing about this whole thing was like, it does feel like there's a lot of dads in this group.
Yeah.
Recent dad here.
Ah, yeah.
6-month-old.
congrats.
Thank you, girl dad for life.
Nice.
It does feel cool to like have everybody like grab their kid or drag their kid up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, I loved it.
a lot.
That was
It
cool.
did. And like, it was so those were like guys who didn't care about winning anymore.
No,
I was
yeah.
like, you don't care.
The real victory is doing this
Yeah.
with you.
I got
Yes.
this little girl like
Yes.
running up this
Yes.
hill, you know, I'm like,
What a
come on,
core
so fast,
memory.
you know?
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool to see because you're 34, right?
Just turned 34.
Yeah.
Y'all
That's
are
right.
a week apart. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
didn't know that, dude.
Oh, mid-30s.
April 26th.
We're
How are you feeling?
100% honest, because of the girl dad thing, I was a little sleep deprived.
Yeah.
I'm getting raked over the coals
Yeah.
right now. Other than that, great. Feel good. Like
Sleep deprivation is real, isn't it?
oh yeah. We're compounding hard right now. Me and my wife were like, we were just talking about that. It's like we came to the realization today.
Wait, Chase, you got the whoop too?
Always
You
dude.
tracking it?
Always.
It's almost worse. You wake up and you look like, oh, it's still
You
in the
don't
red.
you don't realize how bad you are.
Hudson called me Sunday morning and said, or Monday morning, he said, I'm at 10%. I don't even know what that means, but he said the
Oh,
clock-
recovery. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said it's
That's
not good.
not ideal.
It's not good.
After because I was training for the half and I did the longer. I've been doing run-up for a while, and you kind of go. I went to the 15-mile training session, and I was like, man, she's been sleeping great. I swear I bragged one time,
Dude, yeah.
and we've
right.
been tanked ever
Yeah.
since March 1st, dude. We've been tanked. I called Megan like, dog, I'm barely making it.
Stay humble. Stay humble.
I tell Joseph I come in here, I feel like I complain, but I just need 2 minutes, boys. I just need 2 minutes to complain. But it's been great though. Like I do feel great. Also, another part is my time management. That's one thing I was going to ask. Like, how did you train? Like, how did you guys do this? Because we do data it up, so we're trying to like learn time management and navigation.
Yeah, I wish Builder was here because I think he's very good at this. He's the guy that's like 5:30 every morning. He's working out. He prioritizes it very well, and that's like an anchor for him.
I think his thought is get it done by 6, and then the rest of the day is kind of downhill.
Yeah,
You've done
you
it.
win the day first,
yeah.
and he brings a lot of momentum to his mornings because of that, and it takes the intentionality to set yourself up for that. I'm much more of a flow guy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take each day and kind of assess energy, what's going on, and pick my moments. So I would not say I had a great strategic plan like a lot of people did. And if it showed a little bit, there were moments where I was like, I wish I had stacked my training more, like a triathlon or anything.
Yeah.
You're mixing disciplines. Like, great if you can run a long distance, but can you do it after burpees? Your legs feel totally different.
Yeah.
Or paddle boarding, like, if it's choppy water, you have all these little muscles that you don't normally work. You're not balancing for an hour,
Yeah.
And so there's stuff like that I think are harder to train for. And that was, like we said, part of it was get everyone outside their comfort zone. Like, deliberate discomfort builds character. And there's a community that happens where you're kind of suffering or feeling a little insecure together, and then proving to yourself, like, I can get through it. And seeing that in people, like, as you're going through, is so invigorating. And it's different for each person, kind of where it happened. But I did finish, like, I ran my race, and I want to do better next year. Like, I want to come in with more of a plan. So anyways, on the birthday thing, I'm curious if you think this way. When was your birthday?
April
26th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Week
so
4 years.
So yeah, right around the same. I think there's something cool about that, a birthday around then, because you can start the new year with a sense of like, all right, I got 4 months. Do I want to like add a new practice, or set some like event around there to train for, or I don't know. It like kind of gives you that first 4 months to go for something. And then the summer hits and
1000%.
it's usually like, all right, I'm going to relax a little bit, like
Well, see,
enjoy.
I like to I stack mine. I love the Chattanooga Marathon being in March, so like I always kind of shoot for that. I was like, I need to get back into running. I like to have a plan. I've been suffering without one, so like if I don't have one, I'm just working out for no reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice, but I was wanting to get back into running, so I stacked that on top, and then now I'm like, I hit my birthday. And Doug Lawrence in town, he was one of those people, man, I guess I was turning 25, and he's just one of those good, wholesome men that's like, hey, what do you got for your goals for your birthday? And you're like, oh, I don't know. And sometimes you just skate by. He's one of those guys like, no, you need to have something.
I need to have a goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, Doug, I don't know. I want to go to Iceland. He's like, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Daggum, the next day I booked a solo trip to Iceland. And I was
No
like,
way.
oh yeah. And so he's just like one of those people. And so from there, I was trying to like carry that momentum over like, hey, I want to keep having a goal. Like when I hit my birthday, I want to do something else. So it's kind of nice. Like that's why I like this part. Cause I like training in the summer. I like to sweat it out, dog. You know?
So you like to train in the summer?
Yeah, I've really had that appreciation probably in the last 4 or 5 years. I used to hate it. I'm a sweaty guy. I have sweaty hands and nobody wants to hold my hand at church, you know? That kind of guy.
I'll do it. You know, what's interesting. I did not grow up an athlete, but y'all played. I know y'all played. Did you play team sports?
I play team sports.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna let you keep saying
I never
Come
made
on
a team.
If you could
in
dunk
my
a
life.
basketball at 17 below 6 feet, you were an athlete.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're an athlete.
Anyways,
You look at you, big dog.
The team dynamic. The older you get, there's something that we all want to belong to something where we're doing it together.
For sure.
And so many events, I think it's hard to find teams when you're, the older you get, where you can really feel like this isn't gimmicky. We're actually really working hard, trying to win, trying to play together, giving my gifts to it. So I'm curious now, as y'all age, do you find that as well? Like teams are hard to find where you feel like it has that same stuff it did when you were younger.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
I mean, I think with like Chattanooga specifically, like we truly have like a starting five.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we truly have like your point guard, which I think would
Who's
be
that?
you.
That's Chase.
I think you would be our point guard. I think our shooting
Somebody's going to
guard.
organize you mofos.
Yeah, you keep us on pace.
What's Joseph? Is he a 3 guard?
Joseph is probably, I would say, the center, to be honest.
Really?
He's,
5?
he's an anchor.
He would say the anchor, like,
Okay.
like we don't move without
Okay,
Joseph. Like
okay.
this
Yeah.
does not work. We will get swept.
He will rebound for us.
Yeah.
He's going to rebound, block shots,
Yeah.
and also we can be turnstiles every once in a while. And Joseph's just always consistently there. So
I think Garrett is going to be the 2. Basically, he will go 11 for 11 from 3 like Buddy Hield,
That's good.
or he will go 0 for 11. There's no between. He's the most
You
freaky.
quickly realize this is the way this game is. gonna go.
Yeah.
He's just going to put some shots up.
Yeah.
And then you have Greg. He's the 3.
Okay.
He's like
Yeah.
just the solid, like,
Mm.
you're going to get just a solid performance from him every time.
And you're
And
the
you
4.
got me at the 4.
Yeah,
I
I
can
like
just
it.
do a little everything.
yeah, dude.
I'm a little everywhere. Like
Mhm.
you need rebounds, you need assists. I'm like our Draymond Green with common sense.
Ooh,
You are cousin Draymond, I guess.
less flagrant.
Yeah. But no,
Who's the guy that who's the postman I love so much?
Carl Malone.
Carl Malone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he a 4? Or
he
5?
was technically a 5, but like a stretch 4
You kind of
Yeah.
give me those vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Postman. Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
Wait, so who do you play like if you're Draymond?
I'm not going to lie to you because my last name's Green. And if you've been seeing my numbers and chatted up in the sports league, Chattanooga Sports League, it's mostly been like 4 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists. Like that's been my numbers. I've definitely gone down from playmaker to I'm just going to play my role.
Just play.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't know now as a PG, where am I?
As a PG, honestly, I think you're Jason Kidd.
I like.
Oh, that's
yeah.
high
I
praise.
think-
That's
I think
big.
literally-
praise.
High praise.
You will let
Woo!
somebody shine.
Confidence,
Take
dude.
it. Take
But
it.
baby, like, if you need to drop 25, you're dropping 27 and going
He's
home.
gonna do it.
Hey,
Yeah, and
Like-
as I've gotten older, I'm going to become a better shooter.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you're a playmaker and a facilitator.
I
And
like that.
you see it with your current team that you have at Allo. Like you are really having to facilitate. Like what is your position? Like obviously I know it, but like when you see yourself as a point guard, you see yourself as a
Now,
center.
is it fair for him to use a soccer analogy as well?
Please.
Okay. We tend to like the game you play with your feet.
yeah, I don't love this, but I think just from a basketball standpoint, then I'll answer the Allo one.
Yeah.
I was watching Julius Randle, and I was like, man, I want to think that I'm LeBron. I think I'm more like, I'm just gonna go full bully ball, and then like occasionally I'll hit a three, and it's like, oh shoot, now he's unguardable, and then I'll miss the next three. So I think I would foul out really fast in real basketball, but
I think I'm Kurt Rambis.
I thought you might be Ginobili too. I feel like
He's
you just
crafty.
got that crafty
with the left,
and he has some crazy long arms and huge hands. So like
you do have a good
he can just
wingspan.
do some crazy
7 inches
stuff.
longer than my height.
No way.
I don't know if it's a disease or good.
You're an athlete. What are you
That's a
talking
nice
about?
disease.
All right, answer your Allo question.
All right,
Sorry.
yeah.
We just
I don't know.
talking about wingspan.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest. Show your hands real quick.
Look, see
That's
that. Look at
tell
those
him
paws.
what's your last
Is that Kawhi Leonard over there?
the
Jesus.
claw? What's your last big athletic goal for the next 5 years?
You have to answer the Allo question.
I will.
You promise.
Yeah, I promise.
Well, okay. I really, since I didn't make the team, I really think I could make a catch in an NFL football game because I have good hands. I will only run out routes. So my cousin married Peyton Manning. I keep bugging him. Please figure out a way to get me on one team for one game and let me make a catch.
Think like Marvin Harrison back.
So
in the
Super Bowl
Yeah.
day, I was like, please, I think I can make a catch for one of these guys. I either want to dive across the end zone and make a goalie catch that is just a foot off the ground, catch it like that, or out route sidelines, get out of town.
Tutty, gone.
I'll look at the corner across the field. And say, I'm not running across the field. I'm just telling you that. So you don't need to block me. I'm running right over there. I'm going to catch the ball. Sorry, and I'm going to get beat down and I'm going to get out. That's my goal.
Holy
Would that be
It's
fun?
going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Um,
Set high goals.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jason Hurt, I'd catch his catch.
Yeah.
I think Mahomes is more my style, where he's just gonna
little slide on.
Yeah, go find it.
Not see it coming.
Yeah.
All right. To answer your question, I think I'm in this process of wanting to be more of a coach.
Yeah.
And it's just a process. Like you're a full-fledged player when you start.
For sure.
Still feel days where I'm like, I am just in the weeds of everything. And then there's days where I'm kind of like, I might be like, on the sidelines facilitating a little bit. And then there's days where it's like, wow, I'm really like reviewing film and like putting out scouting reports and feeling like we're kind of looking ahead. But every day still feels a little different. So that's the honest answer. I think everybody, you kind of dream about how can I kind of get to the point where I elevate out of the weeds, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's some real magic in that. Like I love being in the middle of stuff.
Right.
We talk about being true agents and really getting to partner with someone and build a relationship where you can represent them, work on behalf of them. And the times where I don't get to do that, I'm like, oh, I really miss that. That's like one of the most fun things. So I think you just see different people. Rob Pelinka is interesting. Started as like Kobe's agent and then has gone all the way up with the Lakers. And I'm sure he has days where he's like, I really miss being an agent. That was so much fun. I got to like be with Kobe every day, get to know his family, like put together these crazy deals kind of behind the scenes. And so I think there's just that kind of process too that you have to go on and figure out. If you want to scale, you have to elevate out of it. But there's some sadness in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can definitely see that. I was just sitting here thinking, just as you talk, authenticity is always there.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I've known you for multiple years. And the one thing you don't take well is compliments. But I'm going to give you one.
Good.
You
Make
are
him receive
so authentic.
Thanks.
And these two pillars in here are a huge reason why. And how do you just, in everything you do, I've noticed innovation and authenticity are always present. How do you stay within those bounds? Like, what is that? And I know that's a big question, but like,
It's a good one.
innovation and authenticity, anything Hudson Brock touches is always there.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I do feel the same way.
Well, thank you.
I'm
Bro.
not just saying that. I think you would agree too, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I think the quick thing that comes to mind is my mom and dad and the kind of the community affirmed me for who I was. And so I felt like there was a safe space to be authentic. And a lot of people don't have that. especially as little kids growing up. And I was a quirky little kid. Like, they can tell you some stories. I was very peculiar about stuff. Like, I would fold my clothes. If Builder was on, he would roast me. I know he would. I would fold my clothes before it had to be like a certain way. But yeah, I think just having a safe space to explore, to become aware of who you are, and then to kind of discover certain superpowers and get feedback, like that struck a chord. People appreciate that. Not everybody sees the world that way. Not everybody operates that way. Just getting that feedback. I think there's studies on this, the power of parents, like looking their kids in the eyes.
For sure.
And I got a lot of that, like with your daughter, like you're not having a conversation, but her just seeing, like, I see you and I want to look at you because you're beautiful. Does a ton for a person's kind of self-perception. So that's the honest answer. And then I would say, like, playing on a bunch of teams, I don't think parents should force their kids to play sports, but man, it's hard for me not to think that everybody needs to be on teams where there's a physical element of some sort, where like some sense of winning and losing and other people relying on you. Yeah. And maybe you get that in debate or, different things. Like, it doesn't have to be jock-esque stuff.
There's
but
band.
Band is amazing. Yeah.
It's a team.
Yeah.
It's the best mellophone in the state of Tennessee for about 6 months.
Nice.
Oh, let's go.
Young Malcolm Harris could cook.
Man. Yeah, my wife's always talking about the musicals they would do in high school and how that was like the most fun, like real sense of team, from the production that never was kind of out on the stage to everyone. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think that, to go back to what you were saying, like, how do you as adults get that sense of team, and like people are relying on me, and businesses hijack all the language, all the analogies. It's like war and sports and family. We're like trying to recreate that in the workplace because we've kind of taken people out of all those spaces, and most of your waking time and energy is in offices, indoors, on emails a lot of times, if you're in more of the information type of career. For sure. And so then we have to like hype ourselves up with like all these analogies that kind of feel a little bit cheap when you're like, yeah, but I'm still just going to go out of this meeting and go like this for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't know. I think there is something human that, like, the past 100 years since the Industrial Revolution, maybe 150 years, and then the internet, now AI, like, we are going to have to find those moments to revert back to feeling a little bit more of the like wild, like raw, like get out into nature and feel that sense of team. And so that was part of kind of the whole desire to do this. Can I talk about the name for a second? Of course. Nobody has heard this, and it needs to be heard. Xpedition. So this is like one of those sense of team things. My brother, Builder, his legal name is Builder. They can tell you more about that. But he's 18 months younger. So we shared everything growing up, like rooms, cars, clothes, teams, friend groups, crushed on the same girls. You go through life together. And so I think one of the cool things is this beat up old Ford Expedition. What year was it?
96.
96. Not a great color. It was like a tan.
They called it champagne. They called it champagne.
Champagne.
But I think
this is like a $7 bottle of
you know when you name it that, it's not a good color.
No.
This is a
$7
bottle.
Cavartier.
So yeah, we have the opportunity to share this car between the two of us, and actually with y'all too. I don't know if we had a third car. And so it just taught us a lot. Like, it was an expedition, kind of, what else is where? Oh, he was driving a trailer down the Mount Montana. It comes unhitched, rams through the back of the Expedition. So then it had a different color back door because he somehow scavenged a like blue, green.
Blue. It was blue. Yeah, it was not champagne.
Back door. So we have champagne with like a blue back door.
I was driving through Atlanta and saw a fire extinguisher pop off of a Georgia power truck. Ping, ping. And it comes torpedoing right at me. I'm going 70 miles an hour. So I curved just like the foot I could do, and it smashed the little railing right here by the window. So it shattered the window, but then it had a dent. So when we fixed it, we just left that dent there. So it had a nice, really
That was
big,
red.
Yeah, it was
because
red.
of
Yeah,
the fire extinguisher.
extinguisher.
So it was two-tone,
3-tone,
the
4-tone.
champagne and the blue, and then with
The
the
dents.
fire extinguisher it had blue. And then for a while, I don't know what was up with the coolant, but we would pull up to school and that thing would just start steaming. And so then we were like, all right, how do we embrace this? We put mudding tires on it, and obviously we put a big sub in the back.
Of course. Why would you
Like,
not?
Obviously.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
children of the 90s.
16
Yeah.
years old, like that's just what you have to do.
Yes.
And so yeah, that
Gucci Mane.
yeah, a lot of Gucci was in the expedition.
I love it.
And
Chains.
so we literally, we're like, all right, this is the beginning of 2024. I was in LA for a while. Builder was in Austin for a while. We kind of committed in our 20s, like, let's go out, get experience, not work together, because not work together and not just stay in Chattanooga because it felt a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
We got to get out, and we both got experiences in different cities, different industries. And it was really cool. We both started growing our families over the past couple of years and decided to come back. And now we live a mile apart. We work out of the same office. And so we started just to dream about, like, how do we have some joint ventures and start getting reps, creating things together, because we've always dreamed about this. And then all of a sudden you have these moments where you're like, what the heck? I'm in my mid 30s. Like, it's now or never.
We got to go.
And it's not always now or never, but you're like, when you're 20, you're like, by 35, this is where I'm going to be. And you realize if you don't take that big action, it's not just going to happen most of the time.
Yeah.
And so we started to have a little bit of a sense of that. And so we were like, all right, let's just start by creating an LLC. And what do we want to call it? I was like, let's call it Expedition, because it was a shared vehicle for our ventures going around Chattanooga,
Wow.
listening to outrageous music, steam coming up. So it was like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It can be startup-y. It can be, but there's going to be some character in it where people are like, we see the Brock brothers pulling up and, something's going to happen. So that's the name. We took out the E, obviously, but that
was for me because I'm a math teacher. So I wanted the X as the unknown. The variable at the front.
Yeah. But we had no idea then we were going to create a race. Like that wasn't even clear. This was January 1st, 2024. And we didn't really start coming up with the race concept until a year later. So it's really fun that it ended up kind of tying into that brand.
Where's the inspiration from the race come from?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. So kind of similar like we were talking about, like we were looking for ways to, with some of our old teammates, we played soccer all growing up.
Yeah.
We played all the way through high school. My senior year, we lost in the state championship, 1-0, brutal loss. And I think we just always felt like we left something on the table there, I went to Georgia. They don't have a soccer team. They have a club and intramurals. And then Builder was going to come to Georgia, and we were going to go there together. Through a lot of my testimony, end up coming back to Covenant College and start playing soccer there. Builder still went to Georgia. And so then we started talking like, man, it'd be so fun to play one more time together. And like, we got to win something. Like that state championship loss just eating at me. My wife came home the same night. She's a girlfriend at the time. She got a state ring for softball. So like, I just have always looked at her state ring and just been like, man, there's just an emptiness there.
Mm-hmm.
And so long story short,
not competitive at all. But
no. I'm happy for her. So
Yeah.
happy for her. Love you, Nina. But anyways, Builder ends up transferring from Georgia to Covenant for 1 semester to play soccer. And
I don't think you're telling this full story.
Hit it, Krue.
Back up 4 months.
All right, yeah.
So Hudson is done with classes and could, is ready to kind of move on, but he had 1 more year of eligibility.
Yeah.
1 more semester at least. But he was going to be done. And so the team came and said, would you please consider being captain and playing 1 more semester? And Hudson's like, no, I'm, married. I got to, just got to get a job, move on. And we all sat around and kind of heard him saying that. And we're like, well, Huddy, you're not going to get asked to be a captain, as much as you think you will. this is an opportunity. And he said, I might consider that, but I want Builder to drop out of his senior year fall semester at Georgia, which is football season. It's a fun, senior. I'm like, come on. He calls Builder and goes, I just dropped out. I'm on my way.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
like that. Just said, I'll do it.
I
Builder's
still
got
don't
that
know how
dog
he
in him.
pulled it off. It was pretty cool. But so we ended up getting my brother, 3 cousins, and a friend who was on a full ride at South Carolina playing soccer
To transfer.
to all come to Covenant, and we just had this epic last run together, won conference, and got to go to nationals, and it was really fun. And
Were
so I
y'all
think
NAI or D3 at that time?
we had gone from NAIA to D3.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, kind of from that, Builder and I have always had this sense of let's keep finding ways to like play and challenge each other, test our limits physically. And so in 2024, Builder's business partner, Tom Rowland, it's like beast athlete. He does this.
Stud.
You know Tom?
Yes.
Okay.
I worked at his house like one time. And
Okay,
I don't know, man. This guy.
The legend of RL. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Everybody
know
knows this man.
Yeah. So Tom has had this awesome challenge every February, the 10,000 push-up challenge. And I think his dad might have started it with him. I think his dad's like 80 and still does it, which is incredible.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, there's levels.
There's
There's
levels.
levels.
There's levels.
Anyways, so we were like, what if we started thinking about a challenge like that? We had done that one the past couple of years and really enjoyed it. So we were just like, all right, January, we're just going to start dry January. Did that. February, 10,000 push-ups. We're like, let's keep it going with monthly challenges. And as we did it, we started talking, kind of creating a group thread. I'm sure y'all are on some of these. And then people just start adding left and right. And you get capped at 30, I think on iPhone still.
Yeah.
Very quickly, we got to 30. And we just kept going. It was like March was 3,000 pull-ups. April was you had to accumulate 100,000 in squats, pound squatted. May was rucking. Each month it was like something ridiculous.
Cool.
And so then, by the summer, all of a sudden we had like 150 people across a spreadsheet doing this. And it's like ridiculous. Like I think the one that it was the most active for was 5,000 burpees in July. So like the heat of the summer. And we're getting people in like parking lots in Chick-fil-A in Florida doing burpees. We're getting people like
Melting
11
hands.
p.m. like, they're up with their kid and they're like, I got to do 10 more. And all of a sudden I was like, man, people have a real appetite for this. Like, what is this touching on people like that they're willing to kind of do this ridiculous thing? And I think it was just that sense of team. Like I want to feel alive. Like I'm just doing something hard with other people. And there's totally the dopamine of like people seeing it and giving you a shout out. And it would feel super weird to post that on Instagram and just be like, I'm doing 5,000 burpees. Everyone's kind of like, but if you're on a group thread where people are, it doesn't feel like you're just trying to throw it out there.
Yeah.
But it's like in the spirit of it. I think there was something very cool about that. So,
I think they framed it in the Roosevelt quote of the daily arena. So the idea of don't be on the sidelines or outside, get in the arena. And even if you fail trying.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing I think people respond to is like being invited into the arena. Like instead of sticking there criticizing stuff.
Yep.
Get in.
Yep.
Get in it. Get
It's
bloody,
not the
get
critic
sweaty.
who counts. Yeah. So we called it the daily arena. It was just this idea of you wake up and it's like over the course of a month if you think about doing 10,000 push-ups in February, you're going to get overwhelmed. But if you just think about like this hour, can I do 50? Next hour, can I do 50? And you break it down into just that day. Win that day.
Screws loose.
And you can keep going.
Screws loose. I love it.
Then all of a sudden you're like, man, I stacked that up over a month and now I can like rip this,
Yeah.
People would be like, I can't do more than 15 push-ups. And then by the end they were doing sets of like 60.
The human body is crazy.
It was really crazy. And you'd be so sore the first like 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden your body would figure it out. And so I think, the daily arena was a huge inspiration of Xpedition.
Because right at the end, that was at the end of 24.
We finished it in December of 2024 with Mary Chessmas, which was a bench press challenge.
Gotta get Jack, baby.
Dude, that one was wild. And so then we were like, all right.
What's the bench press challenge? Like, what did you do?
What did we do? I was trying to remember. it was some accumulation of weight over the
But-
course of the month.
Like
yeah.
25 days.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Holy
I
cow.
think it was something like that. But anyways, we're like, how do we harness this into a moment? Because we all of a sudden have people in like 10 different states. And the group text was cool, but I was like, man, how do we get together? Like, it'd be super cool to like all be in the same place. And so we were like, let's take that energy over the next 4 months. Instead of doing monthly challenges, let's put it into this moment, call it a Masogi moment. If y'all followed all of like Jesse Itzler's stuff around that.
yeah.
And try to get people in Chattanooga because this is the city we love. So we ended up getting, I don't know, I think like 10 of the Daily Arena, 10 to 15 of the Daily Arena people to come to Expedition from Delaware and Texas. And our cousin came in from San Diego. And yeah, it was just really cool to all of a sudden all be out there together.
Yeah, the suffering together thing, and especially like as you talked about earlier, like us being so desk oriented and whatnot, like the suffering together is just like taking off. Like I watch it, like Nick Bears, obviously one of my favorite people, like watching those guys just take off, what they're doing in Austin in every facet of anything, comedy to athletics. It's wild. And like, that's why I've always like had this thought of like, man, this Chattanooga could be that. And then I see you guys, what you're doing. I'm like, those boys got it. They've got that figured out. I think this community could be a different version of that, but it has that potential because we are so fitness oriented. Now we can be a little woo woo around here too, you know, but I love it. I love that. And I love to see that like suffering together. And then I just got to watch a bunch of animals do some cool stuff this weekend. I was like, yeah.
And the energy is electric.
Yeah, the energy was great.
Yeah, got all
Malcolm Harris brought that, maybe.
Listen, man, I'm going to have to bring a little something. You know?
Tops off.
Tops off.
With the, you know, I saw you with yours. I don't know what came over.
I love it.
Dude, I love
Dude, that was so good.
It felt so hard.
It felt so like, you know, we're just doing it. And then all of a
Authentic.
sudden I walked away. I was like, dang, that really just happened. And I think someone got it on camera.
I was like, dog, like I just felt it, man. It was awesome.
I think it was about 3 cameras out there.
Yeah,
We haven't gotten all the clips back, but I'm waiting for that one.
Oh, yeah.
dude, the media was awesome. Just the drone footage, I can't wait.
Who was
to
that?
see.
Yeah. Shout out to Griffin Row Media. Kyle Delk quarterbacked it. And then we had a bunch of amazing photographers. Some that did it for the love of the game. They're like, I like what's happening here. Some that did it at a serious discount just because they wanted to.
That's
We
awesome.
knew that content could be a differentiator as an athlete. It's like, it's lame when you do it. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, you can search through 10,000 pictures and you can pay to get the watermark removed. And so that was a priority to us. And I think this crew, we still have to get the final kind of batch out to everyone, but that's because they've wanted to like edit it and kind of show how epic it actually was. Yeah.
Did you see the video? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
pretty cool. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I was cowed
That matters
Great
big time.
job.
If you,
Yeah.
especially if you guys want to grow this.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I got goosebumps every time I watched
Yeah.
it, which means it really captured the essence of what it was. I love that.
Yeah,
it's
because I was
literally felt
wondering.
like
I was like, man, I wonder if they're going to get that out there because all these races, like we talk about it all
Yeah,
the time.
bro.
Like me and Miggy and Joseph talk about like live sports doing this,
Mm.
events, especially in Chattanooga, are doing this all the time. But you got to shoot the damn thing well, man.
Mm.
You have to, and it's got to look good. And you know, you got to just keep up. You guys and that crew did a great job.
Thank you.
Because I
Yeah.
think I think this thing can grow
Yeah.
because it's different. It's different. So
Yeah.
that's why I was wondering, like, what you guys wanted this to be eventually.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful for the time in LA too, because I think we saw that just
Oh,
the
I'm
power
sure.
of storytelling and the media and the camera equipment, everything that actually goes into that. Now everyone's got their iPhones, but it still is hard to really capture it that way. So for us, what do we want it to grow into?
Yeah, let's do big dream pitch right here. You know,
Man, I wish Builder was here. This is where he's such a strong visionary on this stuff. We want to explore inviting other cities to experience this. And so we wanted to get this kind of proof of concept. Chattanooga as the OG, born here, forged here. But we think there's other kind of smaller market, mid-market type cities that
Louisville.
aren't quite Austin. I would say, yeah, Greenville maybe. Like
Greenville,
perfect.
Louisville,
Yeah.
yep.
those where it's like there is that groundswell of the outdoor community, fitness community,
Mhm.
and it's probably small enough to where a lot of the organizers know each other and will rally around stuff. And it doesn't have the big like franchises that'll kind of swoop in and try to block the little grassroots stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be fun once our team kind of has a breather. So nobody's doing this full time. Everybody's doing this in the margin.
Yeah.
A lot of parents, how, it's just a juggling thing. But once we kind of have our debrief dinner this week, I think start dreaming about kind of the next reload and where we want to take it.
What's one thing day of y'all are like, we missed on that?
Good question. What would you say?
I don't think we had any idea how much it could rain in one day.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I just kept thinking, this is literally going to alter everything. I
Yeah.
could not believe how much it was
For
raining.
sure.
One thing we missed.
I would have liked to have music at every functional fitness station.
Okay.
Music is awesome.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soulful. You gotta
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
It feeds it.
Yeah.
Alan Lovovitz and Rusty ran the Blue Goose one, and that was the first thing they said is, we should have had music.
Oh, yeah. And then people just catch that. You're
yeah.
like, dang, man. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's those little
He
things.
was like, oh,
So we had the idea of like getting the athletes to fill out. It was all like, how can we elevate the athlete experience? And so we're going to try to get all the athletes to submit either one of their favorite quotes or songs, and then be able to work that in like throughout the race. Whether it was like the finisher kind of moment, that's tough to do.
It is. Yeah.
But that was one that if we could pull that off, that would be really fun. Like if you were coming down that final stretch that you
Yes.
ran and you
Yes.
heard, what's your favorite song right now?
Right now, probably give me. It's a song we love. Big Steppers by Big X.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Big X the Plug.
Yeah.
Hey, it gets
It's
the
a good
blood
one.
flowing because we had to in that cryo chamber.
Crowd chamber.
We did Big Steppers in the cryo chamber together
Which cryo chamber?
at North
at
Spring.
K2C.
Yeah,
Oh,
KC.
let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I had to take out like all my piercings. We got in there, and
No
I was
way.
like, "Oh, let's
you
go!"
like it?
Oh my gosh,
We
bro.
had
I'll do
so
it every
much
day
fun,
if I
dude.
could. I'll do it
Yes.
every day if I could.
Talk about a humongous wake up. We didn't know that. I was like, dude, are you just vibing? He's like, I feel like I just got hit by a dump of
Jacked.
adrenaline.
Let's
Yeah, it's
go
crazy.
win.
It does. Yes.
Loved it.
So yeah, I don't know. Music. We were gonna do. Y'all know Ice Buddies, the cold plunge community.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like shout out to James Dawson. He's put that together. It's really cool. It's kind of like cryo. Like you get out,
Yeah.
you just get this rush of like, dopamine, and your blood flow is going crazy. So we were gonna do that. The rain kind of killed that. So I think next time, creating more of that. We had awesome PTs out there, Triumph PT, and a couple other people, but creating more of that like recovery wellness
Yeah.
type of after party would be cool.
Yeah, the weather just really altered that.
You don't want
Yeah.
to stay
We
out
had
in the
it.
No,
rain.
there's no
Yeah.
way. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing. Like we were talking about it. Like, there's nothing y'all could have done with the rain. Like to
Yeah.
do what you did with that. Like, it's such a good, pun intended, foundation
Hey.
For-
Well done.
for where
Well
you're
done.
trying to go and where you will go. For
Can I
sure.
ask y'all a question on the team thing?
Yeah.
Just want to know one moment as an athlete where you either felt that sense of like my team was relying on me and I delivered, or you just hit your limit and you're like, wow, I'm really going to have to dig deep and see, I'm going to have to discover something new about myself because I want to stop really bad right now,
But I can't.
but I can't.
Let's see. We lost this game, but it was when we played high school basketball. This was like a summer camp. We went up to Maryville College. I don't know. Maryville. I don't know. Did you guys ever play them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember? And he was in our grade. Aaron Douglas. He was RIP. He was actually like he was a tight end, but he was like 6'8". Do you remember Aaron Douglas? He was a big recruit out of Maryville, and he was like 6'8", probably 285, and he was a tight end in high school.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, stud. But he also played basketball, and it was the most humbling moment of my life because I felt like I was a pretty strong guy back in high school. And this dude, bless him, was definitely high as a kite. and just moved me like I was a rag doll. So I
Rag
was
doll.
pretty humbled.
Yeah.
And so the following game, I was like, man, I really need to step up. And I was like, I would like to come out of here. We lost by 72 points the game.
Wow.
No way.
Boys, I'm telling you, I've never seen somebody that big in my entire life.
He's a
And
man.
my best friend guarded him as a safety. He goes, I told him, I was like, hey, man, I'm going up there. And I was like, I'm going to have to guard Aaron. He goes, I love you, man. You have no chance. This is my best friend in the entire world. Shout out Chicken. He's like, no chance, dude. And so I go up there. I get absolutely humbled. I throw a layup. I've never done this in my entire life, probably since I was like 4 years old. I threw a layup over the backboard. I thought he was just going to block it. He didn't care. He was already running back down the court. I'm telling you, this guy was high as kite. Sailed this layup. I'm like, man, he is just so in my head right now. We got smoked. I've never seen this defense before in my life. It was like a on and up the lane 3-2. I think we turned it over like 50 something times. It was crazy. So I have all the terrible like mindset right now. So I'm like, I have to at least try the next game. I was the captain. We're not very good, but I was like, I would like to at least win one. So after that, I was like, all right, my parents are here. Dad didn't see the first game. He definitely heard about it. I could just see him over there. I was like, oh man, he heard. He just got told. It's like, all right, I got to show up. Dad, it's going to rip me all the way home. I had my best game I've ever had in my entire life. This kid that I was guarding me the next game, I was like, well, I'm about to get dominated again. He was 6'7", but he was like $135. And he fell for every pump fake. I had 7 and 1, so I had 21 points. 7 buckets, seven made free throws. That was it. Yeah, it was great. And so I was like, I think I had a 20-20 game. And we wound up winning. Yeah.
20.
I ate this kid alive. Dude, I ate this poor kid alive. He probably learned his lesson to never fall for a pump fake again. I was like, dude, I know you want to block me. You could have just stood there. I told him that after the game. I was like, very honest. I was a very honest guy. I was like, dude, I'm going to be honest. You could have just stood there and blocked me every time. I was like, below the rim player here. Me and Malcolm Harris, we go below the rim, dog.
Good off Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help it.
Yeah, no.
It just happens that way.
J-Kid, baby.
J-Kid.
I think I was like 0 for 9, probably 9 turnovers the game before. So I was like, we got to turn it around.
That's fun.
Dad and Grandma were there.
Watch that one.
Grandma was one of those people. She would tell you, like, you didn't play well. And that just stung your heart. You know, you just have that thing about grandmas.
Baby, you know I love you, but you didn't play
well.
well.
Yeah. She was like, bless your heart. And I was like, don't bless your heart. Don't you dare bless your heart with me.
We love you no matter what.
Love you no matter what.
Baby.
Yeah. It's like, God, I don't know what that means. You suck.
Wait, how old were you in that game?
I was going to my senior year.
17 probably.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, you remember those summer play days?
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
up there to Maryville, and they just wanted to make fun of us and beat us by 70. And they did. And they won a state title. That was a tough one. That's one of those that I think about quite often. I'm just like, golly, bum, how do you play that bad, you know?
Throwing it over the backboard.
First layup out of the gate. Because I was like, I don't beat people off the dribble like this. I don't beat Aaron Douglas off the dribble like this.
Man.
And he just let me go by. He didn't care. So, yeah. And then he moved me a lot. That was one of those very humbling strength things. I was like, we got to work out a lot harder now.
That's good. You remember it?
That was also the first time, like, I'm sure you've seen it. Me and Miggy talk about, like, the first time you see, like, a real D1 athlete. A real D1 athlete. This is the same age as you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're not going pro.
This is not Kansas anymore.
Yeah. This is a long ways away from Ray County.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it, Miggy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a good story.
Those are the days, man.
What's yours, man?
Let's see. I'll go like a little later in my life, professionally. Like when I was honestly at Steam and it was COVID, it was 2020. I just got into my recruiting role. My CEO at the time was like, Malcolm, meet me at 4:00. I want to talk to you about something.
AM, PM.
PM.
Okay.
I was like, okay, cool. I wasn't a recruiter at this time. He was like, hey, our recruiting sucks. People are always at your desk. You're not that good of a salesperson. But like, we love you. Like, what can you do this if I give you the keys? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. And boy, was it hard. Like, I talked to everybody, like, and it was really tough. But in COVID, you know, Steam was booming. Like, it still is, but like, it was just a rocket ship. And we had to meet numbers. And it was just me and Morgan McDermott at the time. Shout out to Morgan. She just got married. Congratulations. It was just us. And she's looking at me and she's like, Malcolm, like, I'm tired. And I was like, go, like, I'll do all this. And it was just me and a computer And I was going through a lot personally at the time. Like I was about to be engaged.
Mm.
We called it off.
Mm.
Like it was just a lot going on.
Mm.
And I just remember channeling something in me that I just threw everything I had into my work and like meeting that goal and just, not single-handedly, but damn near taking us from like 50, 60 people to like 250 people.
You really did.
You were such an integral
Like,
part of that.
yeah.
It was so crazy.
That to me is one of the most important things in my life, like that I did. And, even being removed, like still so proud of that organization and just like logistics in this town and how important it is. Like I'm really fond of logistics because I see it can change people's lives, but also just the city of Chattanooga and what's about to happen. Like I don't live here at all. Like I just moved away a week ago, but it's still like it's in my DNA. Like I cannot leave Chattanooga alone. It's like I'm a drug addict. It's like
I know, dude.
You'll be back. You'll be
yeah,
back.
yeah.
He will be.
And but yeah, I think that was the catalyst that you talked about is that moment. But then from a more athletic perspective, when I was in band at UT, and just I hear the horns and we just suck, and I'm just like, guys, like we're on scholarships, like we're trash, like they're like we're trash, and just battling in like Tennessee circle drill. You almost have to collide with somebody like this way, like you're making all types of formations. If you're one hair out of place, you run the entire band, and it just ruins it. So just the precision and just learning your position, like that taught me so much, and being disciplined with like your wind and being able just to cut appropriately and like move militant like that. It's translated to like a lot of my personal life.
That's so cool.
That's why those feet are so good, dude.
Come on,
God,
man.
this boy's
Yeah.
got
Slow feet don't eat, baby.
Oh, dude.
Feet
Those
don't
are-
Move militant.
Move
That's
militant.
strong.
God boy can pivot around any
Come
hallway.
on, around anything.
dude.
I still reference you a lot as like being the face of a brand. Like that moment with Steam was a run that I think a lot of people should take note of. Like that was the cover of Edge magazine.
Man.
That moment where it was like, this guy has become a magnet for all these people to kind of believe that they can become something.
Thank you, bro.
It's a very cool run, and it's been cool to see you navigate kind of beyond that and continue to figure it out. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Thanks, brother.
I'm glad you said that too. Me and my wife talk about Malcolm like he's part of our family.
Yeah.
He's been-
He is.
I think he's been to my Thanksgiving.
Pretty sure, yes.
I think
Yes.
you and I think everybody stopped by at some
Yeah,
point.
most definitely.
But like magnet is the one word. I'm gonna get off your jock here in a minute.
Please.
But like magnet is the
a
perfect
gift.
word. It
Yeah.
really is. Like, and I see that with you too. Like just the way you guys operate this city, and then now I hope you don't operate Knoxville as well. No offense.
No.
I just want you back. I'm gonna get you back.
Just get it done.
I'm gonna grow this bad boy so I'll make you come back.
City, county, county, city. That's the plan.
I like it.
That's
That's
it,
the
baby.
plan.
Eat your heart out, Womp.
Come on.
You can't tell
Sorry,
anyone that.
baby.
You can't tell anyone that. That's the 10 year.
10 years, baby.
It's underground.
Keep it underground.
Yeah. No,
Well, I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you guys for listening. This has been one of my favorite episodes of Chat It Up we've had. I know you have infinite amount of links, but is there anything you want to plug for our listeners for them to be out on the look for?
Shoot.
From Hudson Brock Enterprises.
Anything to plug.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that came out for all the different brands that came out for this race, I feel like just deserve the shout out.
For sure.
And I do not want to forget all of them. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best.
They
Do you
can-
have
Bring it out.
anything? Let me look at
They
this.
can look at the number sign. What do y'all call that? Hashtag.
Hashtag.
What do
Hashtag.
y'all call that?
What do y'all
That's
call
on you
it?
guys.
On the Insta face?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, on the Insta face. Yes.
Real quick while he's doing that, your soccer fields.
Yeah.
That's
Plug that.
amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well, that's been really a fun gift. You're talking about at Montague?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun opportunity to envision. I think the big picture, which is, I hope, like if I make it to 93, that's probably when I think this will get done, is there's a massive central part that this space that we're in right now is a part of. So it'll go from 3rd all the way to 23rd and include Warner, the cemetery, and Montague, and it'll be all connected. And it's like a 5-mile loop, and everyone will feel like it's got, everything from a zoo to baseball fields to swimming pool to soccer fields to art to memorial to there's a pond over there as well. So that's the big vision, and you can't, get to a big vision without starting somewhere. So, a lot of my heart is on that eastern end, southern end of the park near East Lake. And so we're just given the opportunity, it's been an old landfill. The Montague family is a good friends of mine growing up. And they said, do you want to work on this? And it was a really fun deal. So we now
renderings look amazing.
Well, talk about a big team effort. It was everybody that pitched in, but it was really fun to watch happen. And again, the idea of having, we have such a amazing immigrant refugee urban community that sometimes, we just don't overlap as much.
Yeah.
And my experience has been, so this is, that play really does connect you in ways that, food and music are the other two big ones, but play does something that it bypasses your judgment centers. It bypasses whatever. And you're like, I like playing with that person. And I don't even know who they are, but I know them, And so,
because that's what we do as kids.
Yeah.
You said you want to play together, and then you're like, we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like one play and we're friends.
And even if you get in a fight or something, you still, you get someone reminds you, do you want to get back to playing? They're like, yeah. We say sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Yeah, it's like, let's go play again. And so, play does something. So again, it's the idea of putting a field out there where people can play just makes my heart really full. So, and it's happening. I mean, if anyone wants to, I'd plug that. Go play, or go watch, or go just get to know some people playing around Montague.
How many different countries have been represented out there?
56 different countries.
56 countries.
All from Chattanooga.
Cool.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For real. Like, we don't have a massive Haitian population, but all the Haitians that, there are a lot of Haitians that will play soccer.
Yeah.
There are a lot, Bosnians, Sudanese, Brazilians. I mean, you just go down, you're just shocked how many people are. And soccer is, again, I'm not going to plug soccer too much, but it is the world's game.
I loved it. I love it because I lived, my backyard was basically the
Holland Park Commons.
No way. The Volkswagen fields. Like, we lived like two streets over. So every day I'd walk my dog and I'd watch that, and I'd just see all these people come out to play soccer, and I loved it. And one of our best friends, Joe, would hop over there, and he's like, "Dude, I go down there and play with all the people. I don't know what they speak or what they do, but we just have fun." And Joe's the most playful man in the world. It's like to have the most playful man go play with people that don't even speak the same language.
There's something forever about it. When you're doing it and you find that, like, I don't need to beat you. I just want to play with you.
I just want to play.
Yeah. Especially like at our age, like there's a lot of like, I'm not as competitive. I'm like, I'm just basically going out there to play
because it's fun.
It's just fun. Yeah. I don't get to do it.
I get to move.
Yeah.
So, Montague Park.
Yeah.
All right. Sponsored
Central Park, though. Again, in 40 years, let's have all this foundation's podcast will be in the Central Park of Chattanooga.
I can't wait.
I want people to go look at our post, because that will be good for us, and also to look at, we have all of the partners that kind of came in at different levels tagged there. There's probably too many to read,
but tell everybody to get to it. That's good. Yeah,
but go check that out. A couple of the local ones are really cool, like Be Caffeinated Coffee. I don't know if y'all worked with those guys.
Shout out to Chris.
Just like,
Chris
and those guys are such community cheerleaders.
Oh yeah,
and he woke up at 3:45 that morning to have our coffee ready, and just meant a lot. So guys like that. We got Vibrant Meals that brought the food out. So Marco and his team, shout out to them. Taryn, the clubs, Get Built, CrossFit Brigade, the team from Atlanta, RL, the Wave Active. Press all the girls up there. They're such incredible athletes, and their apparel is amazing.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very, very cool.
The funnest was this company called Noogs, who I had not heard of, but their name is so Chattanooga-ish.
Yeah.
But it's like
electrolyte gummies. Yeah.
And they're so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm like, guys, this needs to be, you should make them here.
Yeah. Yeah. They're awesome. So anyways, check out all that. Shout out to you guys for being out there. Like, it is validating to have people that know what they're doing. They can bring the energy despite the craziness of whatever is happening. Like, I don't know, just having that brings kind of like a central point. But what I really want to shout out is the people that will not get enough credit, which is the volunteers, It's led by my mother, who's right back here, Holly Brock. At one point, she was thinking about what to do next. She raised 6 kids, homeschooled us for a lot of it, traveled the world with us. And she was like, how do I create a resume? And I was like, Mom, you've literally been running like the most crazy multi-generational company for the past 40 years and 34 years now, I guess. And there's just so much that goes into that, from logistics and budgeting and everything. And so anyways, all that was on display, I think, at this event, and bringing in all these amazing people to make it happen. So, and the organizers, Melissa Murray, amazing. We talked about her earlier. Crushed it. Jason Moore, aka King Thicky. That became his alter ego during the daily arena stuff. To the point where you will see a car driving around Chattanooga that just says Thicky. No number. That is Jason Moore, King Thicky. And then April Dickerson was amazing. She had helped run some Ironman races, and just all the things that were so helpful to think through ahead of time. So there's definitely other people that I'm forgetting, but those people deserve a lot of the credit. And then Builder, I think he's not here. Like, he's just been a force of like, we're going to build this thing. We're going to charge forward. We're going to embrace the adversity, and we're going to ask for forgiveness over permission, which I think is just what it takes to do something new. You got to have that person that's
move fast, break things.
Move fast, break things. Yep.
It's so cool. I think our Mayor Tim Kelly heard about it, knew about it, and I love it when he came all by himself. No, not on a schedule. He just said, I will be there. And he wanted to make sure he welcomed everybody, kicked it off. He's just there by himself. And he said, this is just an authentic moment. I just want to experience this.
He's such a good dude.
He is. And I think he saw, this is good. This is what we're hoping for. So it's cool.
Yeah. Shout out to MTK, man.
Yes.
That's my guy.
MTK.
MTK.
First time,
That's hilarious.
Yeah. First time I met him was downstairs at where was that at?
Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Yes.
Yeah. He and one of his buddies were down there looking like they were from Yellowstone. But
I was like, hey, and I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I can't get a drink. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to meet them.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, man.
Hey, last question. Dream guest. And y'all might have answered this before. Dream next
we
guest.
talk about
Yeah.
We have talked. We talk about it off air all the time, but I don't think we
never really said this on air. We talk about it a lot. Just, you want attainable dream guest?
No. Dream guest. Just put it out.
Malcolm Harris, we're attainable.
Man,
we can do anything.
Yeah.
For me personally, just my dream guest is to interview Matt Ryan in a seat in here. I would die. I would physically pass away. Or Julio Jones is a close second for me.
So Matt Ryan or Julio Jones. All right, we're working.
Matty
on that.
Ice is
like that.
definitely your number
I
one.
mean, he is to me my guy.
Okay.
We're gonna get a white whale board. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
like we want to get the white whale board. Okay, so I got 2. I got sports for sure is Tony V.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony V is my numero uno, just a great guest. I think my wife would leave me for him. We watch a lot of baseball. She's not a big sports fan, so I'm like, all right. Her and my daughter both are like,
ooh,
watching TV. I'm like, oh, okay, let's turn off some baseball. I saw you guys searching on the ESPN Plus app. Number 2, Jelly Roll. Yeah, Jelly's just like the most inspirational.
He's on a tear right now.
He's crushing, dude. He's just the happiest. Like, love the story, love what he's all about, and like just goes through it, man. Just goes through it, and he's
his acceptance speech, whatever that was, a couple years ago.
Yes, dude,
gets you fired
every time. And I love like Theo Vaughn's like every time he just feels like a preacher, man. And you know what? He's probably gonna wind up being one day. So
get Theo on here too.
That's one we really tried. Shout out to Theo.
Shout out to Theo.
He helped us out a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, one reel turned us around big time. So
that's good.
Those are
all right. It's out there.
It's in the ethers.
It's
out there.
The space.
Yeah, it's good.
Y'all are awesome. It's amazing.
Thank you guys. Thanks for what you're doing for this community too.
It's a gift.
This is the foundation. It's going to be so cool to see what it turns into.
Yeah, we dream too big sometimes. We stay here till like 11 o'clock. Just all of us sitting here. We don't have to move camera equipment anymore. But now we're like, 11 o'clock. Going home.
You know, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already got the hey, left the door unlocked for you.
Oh, let's get you home. Let's get you home.
No, she understands. She's great.
Well, for the Brock family, for the Chattanooga family, thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe on all platforms where you get your podcast. And we appreciate you guys. And Chattanooga, we love you. We'll see you soon.